Just close your eyes. Know the peace within. You need to ask only one question to yourself, that is, whether you are conscious of yourself or not. This is the only question needed to be conscious of yourself. You are right now conscious only, but you do not know that you are consciousness. You are here only because of your consciousness. Not only you are here along with yourself, entire manifestation is here. Where? In your I am-ness consciousness. The moment you start asking whether you are conscious of yourself or not, the same moment you are free from the duality show, and your consciousness can wake up, provided it knows that only out of your I am-ness consciousness everything is happening spontaneously just now. There are no persons here doing anything. Everything happens only out of your consciousness, which is your I am-ness. The first fundamental basic point is that you are conscious of yourself. But you do not know that you are consciousness. Then how will you wake up? How will you know about your absolute truth? The very fundamental basic factor, point itself is missing. That's why I am emphasizing. Ask yourself frequently whether you are conscious or not of yourself. Because yourself contains all. You never know your greatness. You never know what you are. You simply accept the form to be yourself and whatever perceived to be real, and get lost in the entire episode of a dualistic show during waking state. Each and every nanosecond you are getting deceived by the duality show. Not even 1 single second you are free from the show. Then how will you wake up? Unless you are determined, unless you are conscious of yourself, you cannot wake up from the duality show. It's not possible. Because each and every nanosecond you are only perceiving the movie which is not real. And you take every part of the movie to be real. Because you do not know that you are the observer prior to the duality show. Prior to appearances. The only way for your consciousness to wake up from the duality show and to know about its absolute wholeness is to be conscious of itself. Your consciousness is never, 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 never conscious of itself. It is always depressed, frustrated, tensed because of the non-existing events, because of the non-existing past, future, or whatever it is. Your consciousness never knows that out of itself only entire space, entire manifestation, entire object within space are happening just now, just now, just now. I am not telling any story. I am telling the fact about the movie that is perceived just now, as well as about the observer in you just now. You, the observer, is prior to time. You are ever, ever, ever present here. And nothing has never happened to you. To know this, your consciousness needs to wake up. From what? From the perceived show. This show happens only in duality. The screen of the space, exactly like perceiving a movie. You are sitting only in the chair and perceiving the show or movie. But you never know that you are only perceiving. You are continuously trapped by the perceived show. Exactly here, right from waking state till sleep happens, you are continuously carried away at a greater speed by all events, by the sequences of events to be real, to be real, to be real. So naturally you remain tense, frustrated and depressed. There's no chance for your consciousness to wake up and to know that it is the absolute observer, the ultimate observer, the eternal truth beyond duality. That's why I say, ask yourself frequently and ensure whether you are conscious of yourself or not. Once you ask yourself, naturally you will know that consciousness means knowing the peace within. Immediately you will close your eyes and know the peace and start observing the movie, whatever it is. You will not react, rather you will respond if it is essential. Rest of the time you remain aloof to the pursued movie. So naturally your consciousness gets relaxed by whatever that is perceived, the screen of space. Since your consciousness does not know that it is consciousness, it is accepting all the concepts imposed and trapped by all the labels imposed and unwilling to wake up because it is not interested about itself, neither it wants to know what is the absolute truth. And this class is only to the consciousness which is searching itself, not to all. I am expounding this knowledge exclusively to the consciousness which is in search of itself to know the eternal truth about itself beyond duality. You are not the duality show. You are prior to the duality. Duality appears and disappears just now at a greater speed. The speed cannot be explained. At a greater speed in no time, the duality appears and disappears, appears and disappears. and it looks as if it is real, real, real. How can you find out the reality? By focusing towards the duality show. Why not you focus attention on yourself? Yourself is within. Your consciousness is within. The light is within. Only its expressions are outside. Only the reflected objects are perceived in space. Your consciousness is the source of entire manifestation. Your consciousness, by not knowing that it is consciousness, it does not know and it never knows that every object is arising only out of it just now. See how your consciousness is trapped? Because it does not know itself. That's why you are made to close your eyes, to know the peace within, to know the stillness within, to know the unmoving center within. By knowing the stillness within, you come to know about your existence as I am-ness. Yes, I am. Yes, I know I am. It is not a concept. It is not the knowledge. It is your direct knowing that you are here. Yes, I know I am. Without words. It looks simple, but you find so difficult to stabilize in it. In stillness, your consciousness begins the show. Externally, in space, every movement happens only out of the stillness. Once you settle in the stillness, you can observe the show silently as well as you can focus your attention towards the source by closing eyes. Whenever your eyes are closed and you start knowing the peace, when there's no movement, your consciousness is abiding and merging in the source itself. Just now, when your eyes are closed, your consciousness is merging in the source. So it remains so wakeful. Wakefulness begins through stillness. So to remain wakeful, you need not make any effort. Simply close your eyes. Now your consciousness remains very much wakeful. That's why you are able to hear the sound, able to receive the sound outside. By knowing that you are only consciousness, your consciousness knows the unending stillness within. By knowing the unending stillness within, it knows it's a boundary. It knows it has got no boundary. It is infinite. By abiding in this infinity of consciousness, slowly it is relieving itself from the perceived show. It is freeing itself from the imposed identifications. You remain so relaxed inwardly because nothing to identify, because there's no object to perceive. Settle here. Stabilize here. You are totally relieved. Why not you settle here? That's my question. It is there very much. You need not run to catch hold of it. Because neither you are the object nor the consciousness within is an object. It is your own subject, which is unmoving. Truth is unmoving, unchanging, and ever present. Truth cannot appear and disappear. Truth cannot change itself. But whatever perceived in space is constantly changing, constantly moving, and appears and disappears. Then why do you accept all that perceived as real? I am asking your consciousness only. Because your consciousness does not know that it is consciousness. How it knows that it is consciousness? By abiding in stillness constantly and continuously. Because your consciousness is not separate from the source. You are already in the source. Your consciousness neither knows that it is consciousness nor knows the source of itself. So it continuously remains tensed, frustrated, and depressed. And what else? There's only one remedy. That is to be conscious of yourself. And you don't want to be conscious of yourself, but you want to know the truth. How is it possible? Is it so much difficult to be conscious of yourself? You are not asked to climb mountain or to jump here and there. Just close your eyes and know the unmoving stillness in you. It is already there. How do you miss it? You can't miss it. It is very much here. Only out of your conscious presence, everything is appearing. Everything is happening. Everything is functioning. Why not you value yourself and give importance to yourself? You want to know the truth by reading books. And truth is beyond words. Truth cannot be described. Then how will you know the truth about yourself? And you are already that. You need not make any effort. No movement is required to know yourself. Because you are the unmoving, unchanging, ever-present reality. How will you know yourself? Through movements, through words? And the duality is full of movements only. And you are the unmoving observer. You are continuously perceiving a duality show. You are only perceiving the show. You are not the show. But you identify the show too much because you are yet to wake up and know that you are only the observer. The observer is eternal. The observer is ultimate. The observer is absolute. The observer is a non-dual reality. And you are that. Why I am expounding this knowledge? You contain the truth already. And you are that already. Only thing is, you are perceiving a show within the duality. You never know that you are only perceiving a show. Why? Because you are not yet conscious of yourself. The show looks so much tensed. depressed and frustrated, because you give more importance to identification which is not yourself, and you fail to focus attention on yourself which is yourself. Unless you focus attention on yourself through stillness, your consciousness cannot wake up. Your consciousness wakes up only when it is conscious of itself. Note this point. Your consciousness wakes up only when it is conscious of itself. Your consciousness knows what it is only through stillness. Your consciousness knows its eternity only by transcending the duality. Unless your consciousness transcends the duality, it cannot wake up. Till your consciousness wakes up, it is trapped by the concept of birth and death to be real, though they are not so. So, for all your worries and struggles and frustrations, the basic fundamental reason is that your consciousness does not know that it is consciousness. Your consciousness failed to know itself. Your consciousness refused to go inward. Your consciousness does not love itself. Your consciousness does not value itself. Now I am addressing this only to consciousness, so that your consciousness remains conscious of itself by going inwardly. Consciousness is within, it is not outside. Outsides are just movements and objects and only reflections. Your consciousness is a source of entire manifestation. Without your consciousness, that's neither called sun, moon, star, or whatever it is. Everything happens spontaneously just now out of your I amness, which is consciousness. Your knowing your presence as I amness itself is because of consciousness. Your consciousness contains everything within. The seeds of entire manifestation is within. But for your consciousness, nothing is here. Still, you feel frustrated and depressed. Your self contains all. Your self means your consciousness. Your self contains all. You lack nothing. Then why do you remain so depressed? Because your consciousness is not conscious of itself. It looks simple, but this is the only reason for all your frustrations or tensions or whatever the term used. Why you are made to close your eyes and listen to this? I am making your consciousness to be conscious of itself. Consciousness means peaceful and knowing the joy within. Your consciousness remains wakeful through peace and joy. Your consciousness remains tensed due to identifications, which is not itself. Your consciousness is within, only its reflections are outside. You take the reflections to be real because you are yet to know the consciousness within. When are you going to know what you are? How will you know without going inwardly? Which is preventing you? Why it takes so much time for you to know that you are only consciousness and not the reflected object? And you contain everything, you need not borrow anything. When you are already that and always that, and you contain everything and you lack nothing, what more you want? Why do you remain so tensed or depressed? What can make you depressed or tensed? Once you stabilize inwardly, beyond duality. Inwardly means beyond duality. That's why I'm taking you inward, to know what you are. You know that you are, but you do not know what you are. How will you know unless you go inwardly? How will you know without knowing the stillness within? How will you wake up without stabilizing in stillness constantly? See, you are already the truth, but you don't want to know it. So you are preventing your knowing by not going inwardly. Very easy and very simple. Just enter inward. Close your eyes and know the peace within. Rest happens. But you never go inward and you waste your time only outward. In duality, where there is no truth. Truth is within, beyond duality, but you never go there and settle. You want to know the truth which is beyond space, which is beyond duality, by roaming within the duality, by moving within the duality, by searching within the duality. Is it possible? You are already prior to duality. You are non-dual. And you only observe prior to duality. And whatever observed are within the duality. And you have got no connection between whatever perceived in duality. You are only observing the show. This secret you can never know unless your consciousness wakes up. How will your consciousness wakes up? Because the fundamental factor is that you are consciousness. That itself is missing. You have the key within you, but you do not know the key to enter inward and to explore the non-dual in you, which is ever present. Through stillness, you come to know that you are only consciousness. By abiding in this stillness, your consciousness starts waking up. By waking up and abiding in stillness constantly, one day your consciousness knows it is totally freeing itself from the perceived show and declares that nothing never happens to me and I am ever present here. Whatever born is not me, it is only an absolute dream, not real. This your consciousness can declare only upon transcending the duality. But you are sticking to the duality to be real. How will you wake up? You means your consciousness. If you can understand my teachings deeply, very easily, in no moment you can, it is beyond. Waking up is timelessness. You can't term it in time. It is time. You are already beyond time. You are in timelessness. And you are beyond duality. You are ever complete, ever present, you are ever total. You are the wholeness. But the absolute secret about yourself remains unknown to you. Why? Because you never know that you are consciousness. And you never know that the entire manifestation is happening just now out of your consciousness. You neither go inward and know the stillness within. You neither stabilize there. But you want to read book and know the truth. Better wake up and know that you alone prevail here and you are already that. And nothing has never happened to you. You need immense courage to be with yourself. Consciousness means courageousness. And you are already courageous. Why you fail to remain courageous? Why you fail to be conscious of yourself? Why you refuse to go inward? That you need to investigate and find out. Because I know what you are, but you are yet to know what you are. I know you contain the truth and you are missing it. I know why you are missing it. That's why I am expounding this knowledge. You are already in the source, but yet to wake up. You are already conscious, but your consciousness does not know. So I am giving every secret about your consciousness. Receive these teachings, imbibe these teachings. I am certain it will help you. You means your consciousness. I am ever with you. Here I am means infinity. No persons here. Here I am, you and all, only terms used just for communication. There's nothing called I and you. There's no such divisions also. Only in duality we appear to be of different shape and design. And so we say I, you, me, this, that. There's no such division beyond duality. And you are that. Once the duality happens, you remain separate. You accept that you remain separate from others. There's nothing called other. Everything is part of yourself only. Your consciousness is here only to know itself. It has got no other job except to know itself. but it never knows itself. What to say? The very purpose itself is missing. The purpose of your being here is to know yourself. But the very purpose is missing. Otherwise, you would have known yourself by this time. I am here to help your consciousness to be conscious of itself and to remain wakeful totally and to explore the ultimate reality beyond birth and death. Just abide in stillness, settle in stillness, and stabilize in stillness. I am here forever. Be with me and know.